Boogie, drop that beat.
Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Talking Out Loud with Miss Talkative. Everything I say is my own opinion, alleged, and pure entertainment purposes. Remember, I'm just talking out loud. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment on the video. Let me know what you think. I would like to speak on Drew, Sidora, and Ralph Pittman from Real Housewives of Atlanta. Per several reports circulating, they both filed for divorce within an hour of one another. And I'm like, I just found that kind of weird and funny at the same time. I'm like, I've heard of couples, filing for divorce jointly, where they'll say it was a mutual decision, or one spouse will file and the other one gets served paperwork. But it was just kind of, and it's never funny when couples are getting a divorce. It was just the humor in it for me when the reports were stating that Drew filed first, and then an hour later, Ralph's documents were completed and submitted. So it was just funny to me, like, did they have an argument where one person was like, I'm done. I'm just going to go and get it over with. And the other person was like, oh yeah. And, rushed out the house, the first one, rushing to the courthouse or whatever. And they were able to file first. And I was asking myself, did Ralph, get stuck in traffic, or, did he, go the wrong way? Did he get in the wrong line when he got to the courthouse trying to file? Is that why his paperwork took a whole hour behind hers? Or he didn't feel as though that she was serious, and then he probably called her and she was like, oh, I'm here. He was like, okay, I'm on my way too. And that's why his paperwork came in an hour after hers. And it was stated by, when I was reading the article on TMZ, they both put down two separate dates for their separation. Drew put down the 23rd, I believe, and Ralph put down the 19th of February. And I said, well, what happened on the 19th? Maybe they had an argument on the 19th, and Ralph walked out or whatever, went somewhere else, and on the 23rd, Drew had enough of him being gone, and she probably called him and was like, if you're not back here today, then I'm just done. And so that's why Ralph has the 19th, because that's probably the day he left the house, the day of the argument. And then Drew, she have the 23rd, because that's the day that she told him, if he's not back at the house, that she was done. So I guess they're both right, actually, if it goes like that. I don't know. I'm just speculating. And even though divorce is sad on so many levels, no matter who it is, I can't say that I'm surprised that these two divorcing at all. And the only reason why I say that is because Ralph, he was just so disrespectful. It seemed like he was always trying to leave. It seemed like Drew was trying to have the perfect marriage, and he was trying to get out of the marriage, and it just wasn't going to work because they were going in two separate directions. And even some of the castmates of Real Housewives of Atlanta had to speak on him being disrespectful or whatever. So I'm really not shocked, especially just the small tidbit that we've seen. There's no telling what was going on behind closed doors. Even though they said that they were, they were in counseling and stuff like that. But even when you're in counseling, I know sometimes, people think that you go there and it's just going to solve everything. But in order for the counseling to work, the people, you have to participate. Each person have to do the work. You can't just say, okay, yeah, I'm going to counseling, and you're still going to do the same thing that got you into counseling. Like I said, Raph is always taking off, leaving, doing something, and being disrespectful. And I know it was like that his Drew had spoke about him having cameras in the house and her not knowing about it. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. How you put cameras in a house that we own together? Like, you don't trust me. I can understand you having cameras in your house, but you didn't let your wife know that there's cameras in the house. Like, what you trying to find? If you feel that way, where you need cameras to spy on me when you're not here, then you need not be here at all. You need to just go and never come back, because I'll be doggone if I gotta be watched and tiptoe around my own house because you secretly hiding cameras. Like I'm doing something. You the one that's running out. You the one that's leaving every chance you get. You can't finish an argument or whatever. You can't, stand up and speak like two married people, like two grown adults. You got to leave. But yet you put cameras in the house on me? No. So yeah, I'm not surprised at all that that it came to them filing for divorce. I do, however, would like to see um, what happens after their divorce, and I hope that they don't have a long drawn out, not, back and forth with their divorce, because they do have kids. And even though he's stating that Drew never, wasn't contributing to the household finances or anything like that, so what? What's the big deal? She's a mother, and I feel as though that if y'all had that talk or whatever, and it was agreed upon that she didn't have to contribute or contribute as much, then why are you upset about it now? Because I know that's not your focus. I know that's not your main gripe with her about not contributing to the household, because I really don't think that household was suffering. I really don't. But I don't know, because people are tend to fake it or whatever. But I really don't see how that can be his beef with her about not contributing or anything like that, because you could have been resolved that issue and just spoke up or whatever. And I know she's on Real Housewives of Atlanta, but at the same time, she hasn't. You act like she's been a cast member for over 10 years or something like that. How was she supporting herself before she got on a Real Housewives of Atlanta? You're speaking on that. Then were you taking care of her before she got on the show? And if so, then why are you complaining? I understand you feel as though, okay, where you're working now, you can't contribute, and I'm not saying that she wasn't, but if she wasn't, then I can understand you're like, okay, well, it's a little heavy on my end. Maybe you want to, come to my rescue or help me out or something like that. But don't just start a beef or just start pulling strings up out the air for you to have something to take to court with you, because y'all were eating. And another thing is that I know Drew wanted Ralph to adopt her son. So I'm interested to find out what will come about with that, because I know Drew and Ralph have two kids together, and her eldest son has a different father, but Ralph is the only father that's been in his life for a while. And since the adoption didn't go through, how will they still interact? Well, once, Ralph is, doing his visitation routine, will he pick up all three of the kids, or will Drew be petty and say, oh no, my son can't go? Or hopefully it won't get to that level where they're being petty with one another because a child's feelings is at stake. But I'm just interested to see how that will play out, or will he even want to go, seeing as though, well, you're not with my mom anymore. Hopefully Raph will keep the same routine he has with Drew's son, and because you married her, and when you marry somebody, regardless if you adopt their child or not, you take them as a package deal. And if you can't accept your role, and I feel as though that when you divorce a person, you don't have to divorce the kids. You can still have your own relationship with the kids. And and once they get grown or something like that, people tend to make up their own decisions and stuff like that. But if you've been there and you've been a good role model, then I feel as though why not keep that same momentum up? Because kids nowadays, especially nowadays, they need a village. And no matter how if y'all, when y'all decide to move on with your personal lives, I feel as though the more the merrier for the village in the child's life, and especially if it's a positive village. And I just hope that it won't come to, him being, set to the side because, oh, that's not my child, that's not your child, things of that nature, the pettiness that people go through when they're going through divorce. And I know I was reading something about them, and it stated that they got married 6 months after meeting one another, and there's nothing wrong with that to me, because my thing is, if you know, if this is the one, this is the one. But for me, I feel like, and I'm speaking on me, talking out loud, Miss Talkative, I don't feel as though that you can actually know someone until you have that first argument with them. When you have argued with someone, it brings out the real them. Because when you're dating someone, everybody is being super nice, super cordial, things like that. They don't, they always, no matter what you have on, they're going to say you look nice. They're not going to, all of the things that they grit their teeth about you. They're just, they're going to hold it in and stuff like that because it's new, and they want to look past it. But have an argument with a person that you're in a relationship with, and watch the true self come out. You get a chance to see how petty they are. You get a chance to see if they're gonna, how much of a donkey they can be. You get to, they tell you the real truth of what they really think about you. and they'll tell you, I'm with you because such and such or whatever. They tell their real true self come out, no matter how ugly it is. And that's why I say that argument will let you know a lot of things that you're looking for, because that you won't see every day, or things that you will omit or overlook, only because you're like, okay, well, did he really mean this, or did he really mean to say that, or was I just tripping? No, I'm not gonna worry about it. Or if they say something and you don't address it right then, because y'all are, in a good place, and you wait, and then you're probably watching TV later on or something, and you say, when you said what's wrong with my hair, and he'll be like, what are you talking about, what are you referring to, and you're like, oh, never mind, because you don't want to get out of that good space, that good comfort that you in, so you'll let it go, but you'll still be wondering about it in the back of your mind. What was he thinking? And then first thing you do is you want to call your friend. I'm like, I don't understand what he meant. But instead of continuing that conversation with him to find out exactly what he meant, you just push it to the side and you suppress it until you wind up. And then when y'all have an argument, and then he come off and he say, yeah, and another thing, your hair, and then it's like, wait a minute, you didn't remember when I asked you. He remembered. He just didn't want, he was in the same place you were. Y'all were in a good place, and he didn't want to address it, and he didn't want to come out of that good space either. That's why, for me, I don't know how anybody else rolled, but for me, I keep my, I just always thought it was, a good thing to keep your eyes open and alert or whatever. And then when it's like, as time goes on, you're gonna, and I'm not saying that, you just have to argue just to find out anything. That's not what I meant. What I'm saying is, the longer you're in a relationship with someone, you're gonna have disagreements, and the disagreements, because everybody don't agree on everything. So you're gonna have disagreements, and you'll be able to find out within those disagreements, am I dealing with somebody that's on my maturity level, or am I dealing with somebody else's child? And it's just as simple as that. Are they, how petty they go? Are we able to, have a disagreement and resolve it quickly, or is this going to be a standoff, or you go your way, I go my way, you storm off going for days, or you're telling me I don't want this no more, or whatever. And that's what I'm referring to. That's what I'm speaking about when I say that this disagreement will let you know exactly who you're dealing with and to what degree, what level. And basically, that's all I have to say. Remember, these are my opinions, and I'm just talking out loud. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment. Let me know what you think.